And after 3 years of lies and smears and slander, the Russia hoax is finally dead. The collusion delusion is over. The special counsel completed its report and found no collusion and no obstruction.
Even Republicans on the Senate Intelligence Committee have determined that the Trump-Russia connection was not a hoax. It was the truth. And there's a lot of new damning information in their nearly 1,000-page report, showing unprecedented contact between the Trump campaign and Russian intelligence officers and intelligence services, which they then lied about in public and to Congress. The Trump campaign chair, Paul Manafort, was in regular contact with and gave sensitive campaign information to Konstantin Kilimnik, who we now know is a Russian intelligence officer. And Manafort's interactions with him represented a, quote, grave counterintelligence threat. In their report, the name Kilimnik appears some 800 times, and Manafort himself, the report says he, quote, lied consistently. The report also makes clear that when candidate Trump said stuff like this,
WikiLeaks, I love WikiLeaks.
He wasn't kidding around. He meant it on a scope and a scale that we never imagined. The Intel Committee report chops down the narrative that Trump pal Roger Stone was going rogue for the president in his contacts with WikiLeaks because multiple Trump campaign leaders knew what WikiLeaks would do for them and when. Check out this timeline. Once the Trump campaign found out that the infamous Access Hollywood tape was about to drop, the campaign told Stone, who directed Jerome Corsi, to tell WikiLeaks to, quote, drop the Podesta emails immediately, referring to stolen emails from Hillary campaign chairman John Podesta. Within a half hour, it happened. Even after U.S. officials warned candidate Trump that WikiLeaks was little more than an arm of the Kremlin, he continued to boost WikiLeaks from the trail, at least 130 times in the last month of the campaign alone, according to PolitiFact. And the report strongly suggests that President Trump flat out lied when he told Bob Mueller's team that he couldn't recall talking to Stone about WikiLeaks. The committee believes he did, and did repeatedly. Here's the lightning round. That already questionable Trump Tower meeting from June of 2016 did in fact include an asset of the Russian government. That Russia repeatedly tried to infiltrate and influence Trump's incoming administration, preying on its, quote, relative inexperience. That Russia not only moved on to blame Ukraine for 2016 interference, but sold the obvious lie to Trump and leading Republicans, who continue to push it to this day. We're also learning that the Senate committee referred for criminal investigation 5 close associates, including Trump's son, John Jr., and son-in-law, Jared Kushner, all on the suspicion that they lied to the committee, as first reported by the Washington Post. Now, all of this is new information, but here's what's not. President Trump almost never having a bad word to say about Vladimir Putin, not even over bounties on U.S. troops. But Senate Republicans signed off on the facts of this exhaustive report, and the results are clear. The Trump campaign's Russia connections were real. Russia's interfering in this election as well, and the report condemns it. But make no mistake, Trump's real Russia hoax was the one he tried to perpetrate on the American people.
Senate committee, led by Republicans, blows a hole in the president's claim the Russia investigation was a hoax. Among the damning revelations, that the Trump campaign encouraged Russian interference. They suggest that the president lied to Robert Mueller about his contacts with Roger Stone, that his campaign chairman did collude with the Russians, and documentation that shows the president's affection for Vladimir Putin goes way back. I want to talk about it all with Jeffrey Toobin, CNN chief legal analyst and author of the really fascinating new book, True Crimes and Misdemeanors, The Investigation of Donald Trump. Jeff, your book gets really into great detail on most, if not all of this. I'm wondering what your biggest takeaway is from the Senate intelligence report. And we should point out again, this is a bipartisan report.
Yeah, I mean, Anderson, I think what the Senate Intelligence Committee found really reinforces and frankly makes worse what Mueller found. And I think, to me, the most interesting connection involves Paul Manafort, because, Paul Manafort was the campaign chairman, and he was in close contact with this fellow Konstantin Kilimnik, who, according to the Intelligence Committee, was in essence a Russian spy. And he was meeting with Kilimnik, he was giving information to Kilimnik while he was involved. And I think the thing that is so interesting about Manafort's role is that it doesn't just include Russia, it includes Ukraine. And as you go forward and you see the president's obsession with Ukraine and his desire to use Ukraine to help win this election, the 2020 election, it all begins with Manafort and Manafort's ties to the pro-Russian part of the Ukrainian political world. I mean, Ukraine and Russia are all one story. They're not two separate stories.